Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is a VR to Kelly Bear's 54321 Tarot. She gave out the five decks. I've watched her video many times to make sure I've got this correct. She left it open. The word tarot is in there, but she did leave it open for us naughty souls who might want to deviate from the word tarot. And I nearly did 5 playing card decks or 5 cartomancy decks or 5 divination decks, but I did find 5 decks in the end that I wanted to talk about. This is just to throw you off the course. I also fancy doing 5 oracle decks, 5 great witchy oracle decks, because it's the season, and those are some of the decks that I've been pulling out to use, but I will be talking about those in so much detail in the forthcoming tarot prompts that I've been doing, that I started this month of September, that you'll get bored of those as well. So I found something that I have talked about in extensives, but here's my 5 tarot decks. Well, 1 tarot deck 5 ways. How about that? 1 deck 5 ways. It is the Trionfi della Luna Marseille edition. I think it actually comes in 7 ways, but I don't own all 7. And as we know, there's the aquedoxical version of this that I missed out on, and very salty about that, because was that the one with 30 of those made? I didn't get one, so I'm a bit salty, but I got this instead, which is the illustrated version. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about my 1 deck 5 ways. For those of you who follow along, the purple and the blue came in bigger boxes because they came with all the extra cards in them, whereas these ones didn't have all the extra cards as this one does. This has the beast packs in them. And depending on the age of these decks will depend on what extras you got with them. And if you then got the beast packs to go with these, you'd have got the extra cards in the beast packs to make up for what you don't have that comes in this deck. I think that makes sense. So 1 deck, 5 ways, starting with the blue. This one stays in order because I don't use it. But these are the cards for the blue. So we're going to the Suit of Pentacles because that's the end of the deck, because I just felt it made more sense for me to grab from the back rather than the front, where I think I had all of the beasts and the extra oracles residing. So that's the blue. Turn it over so we know we've done that one. Then we have the purple again. So we've got the pentacle suit here. Lovely colouring. These are for those who, sorry, I'm just assuming everyone knows what these are because my channel. These are the paradoxical versions in different colourways of the Trionfi della Luna Marseille, created by Patrick Valenza at deviantmoon.com. So the rose, my favourite of all actually. There's one of the oracle cards that comes in the deck. So in this deck, they're mixed in because that's how I was using them. And this one is completely out of order because, as I said, I use it. So they're beautiful illustrations. They're very quirky. They are based on, old style Marseilles. He takes all of his kind of cards and imagery, and then it's his style of drawing on them. That's my very favourite and precious Rose Paradoxical, which is one that I own a backup of. That was the other one I was going to do, 5 unopened decks. We have the original Paradoxical, which I don't have a backup copy of, and I do love this equally as much as my Rose, but because I don't have a backup, I'm scared to damage it. That's really stupid, isn't it? I'm genuinely scared to ruin. What am I doing? The whole thing's upside down. Excuse me, sorry. There we go. I hope I didn't make you all dizzy then. But I'm scared to ruin this deck, so it's really one that you won't see me use a lot unless it's a special occasion or a special part of the year. Then I will pull it out. Unless, of course, I can get a backup. Once I've got a backup, then I can make good use. And then the original standard, which most people, I think, in the community are familiar with. This is a nice kind of aged looking deck. It's the same, so as I said, the same deck, it's all the same cards, just different colorways. This is, I think, is a favorite of people's. And I find it fascinating how the cards differ in their feeling and their appearance, just from, I mean, that's an amazing world, from, you know, having a tint or a tone put onto them. High Priestess. High Priestess is my favorite card in the Aqueduct School colorway. She just stands out, absolutely stunning. So 1 deck 5 ways, or aka 5 decks. Next prompt is 4 books. Get those out of the way. So 4 books of anything. This could be 4 books that you read. So I've just gone with 4 tarot books, starting with ones for beginners. Highly recommend The Radical Tarot by Vincent Batishki. If you don't know who Vincent Batishki is, go to his YouTube channel. He's an amazing bloke. He breaks all the rules, as it quite clearly says, with tarot. This book is good for you as a beginner. It's got prompts and stories and conversations in the back, which are so humorous. His humour of working with cards is really funny. But here's why it's good for you. It teaches you how to start your keywords and your journaling. You could, if you aren't afraid of writing in this, use this as your start off as your tarot journal. And this could become your permanent tarot journal. And you could just continue to add your meanings and keywords that you get for your cards into here. I have 2 of his books. I have this one and Bare Bones, which is another fascinating book. But I thought this one to get you going on your key meanings and words, because it's very simple. And I love the way that he kind of teaches it, because he teaches it in a numerological sense rather than each card. So the 6s is combined, so he gives you 1 meaning for 6s, so it really simplifies what you're learning. So you have the Rider-Waite cards there, but he usually works with and talks about Marseille decks, but this is all transferable to your Marseille. So this is why I love this deck, and I recommend this to people beginning who don't want to be confused. He gives you some spreads and things. There's some complicated spreads, there's some mapping spreads, but yeah, I definitely recommend this. And as I say, if you're not scared of writing in books, use this then to write in. Use this as your work journal book and your permanent tarot journal. You can just keep adding to it. So that's book number 1. Book number 2, I love this lady. She taught me well, I think. So this is the Hallowed Tarot by Julie Schweb-Rader. This is from Amazon. I've talked about this before. I know I have. It's in my top beginners books. I have this in Kindle format, so she's in my pocket at all times. My tutor is in my pocket, which is what I love about this. And she was, I think she still is, in the middle of creating a tarot deck, but it takes a long time. And this was one of the images from her tarot deck. So this book is laid out so you can easy read what's going on. She's got hints, tips, tricks. She does a page for every card. She introduces herself. She talks about, how to give readings for people, how to get yourself in the right place to do so. And then here's what I mean, where it's set out as easy read. There's lovely big gaps between all the text. So she talks about the cards. She tells you about how the card fits into her life and how she memorizes the card. So in this book, she talks about associating the card to you, so creating your personal meaning to the card, which is then where this one, where you may have your basic meanings, you can then add your personal meanings into the book so that you are building on what you've got and building your keywords. She gives you keywords. So there we are, look. So she gives us a little bit on the reverse meaning of the card and her memory with the card and how she connects to it. So therefore how she now memorizes, how she links, how she associates that card into everyday life, and how it then becomes part of the readings when she's giving readings. And she also has some kind of prompts there to think about. So we're talking about the magician. So when you are in a position of working on your dreams and feeling like the task may never end, in order to see the rewards, remember the magician, remember your own power, and that what you'll need is always at hand. Harness the power and take the next step. Some questions you can ask yourself when the magician comes into the spread are as follows. How passionate or determined am I, or is the client, to the goals? What steps do I or the client have to take? What resources do I or client have? How can I or client go Who can I or the client go to for help? Do I or client feel this is right? So that's what I like about this. So she goes through the entire book, all of the cards in the deck. So you've got the lovely coloured pictures of the standard RWS. She works with the as above, so below decks a lot as well. She loves those. And I think she's also very much using the Gaia Tarot. So she talks about the transformation path. There's information on how to contact her. But yeah, I think this is a really good beginner's book for connecting to cards. I don't think, once you've got those two, you've got yourself down pat for beginning, I don't think you need any other beginner's books, if I'm being really honest. This one gives you a numerological aspect. This one gives you every card aspect. Put them together, you've got your deck. And this one is, as I say, transferable across Marseille and RWS. So the same thing should be able to go across all the cards here. Then you can get your Marseille deck to expand on what you want to learn about. If you're then wanting to expand, now I'm not saying this isn't a beginner's deck. I think anyone can begin with any deck that they choose. But for me personally, in my journey, this came a little bit later on. I love the imagery, but as far as learning about the deck, I still haven't learned the entireties of the deck. I started and I kind of didn't finish because it's dense text. This is a dense text book, the Crowley Tarot, but it's an excellent handbook to the deck from US Games. So I think that to me, these two go hand in hand, although I've heard people say that they don't find this an easy read. It's not an easy read. This is a reference book for me. That's it. But it has so many properties of the card, of the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, the associations, the planetary aspects in here that I find it absolutely invaluable as far as a book for, or a companion book for a deck goes. It's not a lightweight read. If it's a deck you're not familiar with, it's not the easiest. But the Thoth deck does come with the little white book inside the deck, so you can use that to get yourself going, absolutely. But I think that this one makes a lot of sense to me, and I have seen a lot of people talk about this and say this is perhaps the one they would recommend. And there is one other book I've seen people highly recommend for Thoth, but then the same people who I've seen recommend this one didn't recommend the other one. So there's kind of two in the running, but this is the one that I went with in the end, and I'm really pleased I got it. It's not, as I say, it's not an easy book to read, but it's Akron and Banzef, I think, are the people that wrote this one. I think I've mistakenly said in the past this one was from Crowley, but it's not. But it is an excellent accompany to that deck. And then one other that you could, or I highly recommend to get to expand your knowledge, is this book, The Tower of Holy Light, Christine Payne Towler and Michael Dowers. She has the deck out, which comes from her website. So you have to go to her website to get the deck. You cannot buy it anywhere else other than her website. But this book comes on Amazon and also her website. So you can go to her website for the book as well. I can't remember where. On my page, there's a flip through of this deck anyway, if you want to see more about where it comes from. Hang on, here we are. Because I clearly can't find it. NoraBrownfield.com, I think, is the name of the website for the Tower of the Holy Light deck. Yes, it's on the bottom of the card there, if you can see that. www.norabrownfield.com, NoreHBrownfield.com. So that's that one. But this book, just in general, the information this book holds, based on her experience of how she's approached the tarot, okay? So her experience, she's come at this from a slightly different aspect to RWS. She's like gone to the earlier origins of tarot. And again, this is a very dense text. This is a hefty read. I started trying to read it and started, highlighting stuff, and realized really quickly that I'm going to be highlighting the entire book. So it's pointless highlighting unless I found something super meaningful to me. But she works in, I've lost my kind of train of thought now with this deck. I think it was sextants. She found a mathematical equation, and that's how she has worked with this book and found the information for this book and the alchemical imagery that she's used. So her mathematical equation allowed her to then find what it was that she, there we are, the sexagesimal grid. I can't say it. I can't say it, but that's how she did her run through the alchemy pictures and how they came to be part of this deck that's been collaged and put together. But it's got amazing artwork, and yeah, the stuff this woman has learned over the years and put into this book blows me away, absolutely blows me away. But this is very much a lifetime study book, I think. And it's only small, but it is mighty. Small but mighty, this one. And once you've got your beginner's basics books down, then I recommend moving into books that enhance your learning, challenge your thoughts, your theories. So if I didn't put this one out, I probably would have put the Rachel Pollack's A Walk Through the Forest of Souls book down, because actually that's an excellent one for challenging your thoughtscape and how to use your cards and broaden your way of using the cards. So I've got this one because it's here to hand. The other one's upstairs by my bedside. But that would have been, if I didn't put this one down, I would have put the Rachel Pollack book down. But that's what I recommend when it comes to books. So that's 5, 4, 3 tarot spreads, isn't it? 3 tarot spreads. We'll start with spread number 1, which is one that I've created. It's currently live, so if you want to join in and do this one, this would be wonderful. It's not like one that I'm doing in an entire day. I'm doing like 1 or 2 prompts. So I suppose you could call it more a challenge, really, although I've designed it as a spread. So it's a spread on the Wise Witch's house, and the spread is based on the aspects of the house, and all my prompts are around the house. So you can download this. I've put PDF links in, so you can get this, and then my prompts here. We've got 13 prompts and then a magical cauldron at the bottom, one for luck type thing. So we have journaling prompts, and we have, well, no, I shouldn't say that. We have tarot or cartomancy or divination prompts. And then I have magical beings prompts for doing magical works. So that is one that I am wanting to try out. So I'm trying it out for the first time. I'm currently working with it. So yeah, you can find that one on my channel. That's one tarot spread. The second tarot spread is this one, The Secret Garden, which is another one that I didn't completely create, but I worked on a little bit and added some stuff and changed it slightly. So I suppose I modified it, which I've written quite clearly here, modified. This one was The Secret Garden by Lennon Smith, and Mad Witch then modified The Secret Garden to her own workings. And then again, I modified my prompts and my things in the garden a bit more for me to work with. So that's another spread that, although I didn't complete from start to finish, this one, however, I have. That's another spread that I will probably use coming into the lighter seasons again, because I think this one I did in April? No. Decan of Taurus, so perhaps May. Yeah, May. So I did that one in May. So I'm doing this one for the next, probably till the end of October, because I'll only do 1 or 2 every couple of days. And then this one, so that's 2. And the third spread, I don't have a picture of, but I was watching Jennifer Ball's prompts and replies to this today, and she talked about unlocking, what did she call it? Unlocking the keys to tarot by something Paul Foster tarot spread. Anyway, I couldn't find that exactly, but I found 20 videos about unlocking the tarot key or something. So I've got them all on save. I want to learn about it, and then I want to find out what this unlocking the key spread is, and then I'm going to have a look at that. So that's 3 spreads that I will be doing or trying out in the near future. For me, and as I said, this is a PDF which is downloadable. If I link the video down below or the playlist, you can go to the first video, you can get this one on there, downloadable PDF for you, and then you can join in. That'd be lovely. Paraphernalia, so tarot, two tarot paraphernalia. Journal, always have my journals to hand, always have some pens. There you go. And one top tarot tip kind of leads back to this one and this one. Making your notes on your decks. So here's my numerology, keywords and notes to my decks here. So make sure you put notes down somewhere where you can come back and add to it So I've got to 10. I haven't got the rest in here yet. They're in other places, so I'm starting to put them all together in one place. So I also have elements in here. So I started to put stuff down on paper, but actually I could have just used this and done it in here as well. So that is my top tarot tip to you. Write it down. Okay, that is my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care. And I can't wait to see what you're all doing with this. Bye-bye.